John Wick, Chapter 4 dominates. Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including John Wick 4 smashing at the box office, guys. Huge box office gold for John Wick Chapter 4 this weekend. That's good, because it was an awesome movie, and we're going to talk about that. But the director is also supposed to be doing a Highlander movie, so I was kind of like, well, where's that? We'll take a look at that story today, too. James Gunn weighs in with the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Runtime. We got Harley Quinn posters over the weekend, or images, sorry. Jonathan Majors got arrested? That's not good. He is our Kang. We'll take a look at that story. And we'll take a look at our D&D review that I saw over the weekend. After this. But let's start off the show by talking about John Wick Chapter 4. And it dominates. John Wick Chapter 4 annihilates Shazam 2 with 73.5 million. Now, we knew that Shazam 2 was going to have a drop-off this week. And we knew that John Wick was going to be number one because it was the only big thing opening up this weekend. And guys, the early buzz was good around John Wick going into the weekend. And for the people that went on to see it, you got rewarded with an awesome action movie, man. Easily some of the best action we've seen on film in a while. Like stunt-wise, the choreography in it was absolutely phenomenal. And that's something that I want to talk about, because if you go out there and you take a look around at some of the stories, the director had a Q&A out saying that John Wick franchise director Chad Stahelski talks about why stunts should be added to the Oscars category. And we've talked about that for a while, that if you were going to add in another category, stunts should be one. I don't know why it isn't. This is your first case, John Wick. Yeah, the stunts in it are phenomenal. You want to check that out. Just the fight sequences, the brutality of people getting hit by cars, falling down stairs, getting hit on the head, and it's just wow. And the way that it's photographed is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So the director there, Chad Stahelski, had a big interview there on Deadline talking about all this stuff. And it's sort of spoilers, this headline, I suppose. Permanently retiring Keanu Reeves. If you haven't seen the movie yet, that'll allude to something that happens in it. And I said it in my normal review that's up on the channel now. There's some possibility for them to continue it on. I mean, guys, let's face it. I looked at the numbers, the box office numbers, and John Wick is huge. The trajectory of the box office has gone up. So John Wick 1 had 14 million opening weekend. John Wick 2 had 30 million on the opening weekend. And John Wick Parabellum had 56.8 million on the opening weekend. So John Wick Chapter 4 with 73, the numbers are going up. And the executives are going to say, okay, well, if the numbers are going up, we got to have another one, right? The numbers here would suggest if we make a John Wick 5, we're going to have a $90 million box office opening weekend. And I don't know, guys. You got success. And there's no doubt about that whatsoever. You got huge box office success and gold with John Wick. Are you going to go out on a high, or are you going to try to ride that as high as you can before it comes crashing down, and you're going to end up in a die-hard situation where it's kind of wait, what the heck is he doing over there now? It just becomes tiresome, right? Unless you do something with the fifth one that totally reinvents the wheel, sort of like what they did with the Fast and Furious franchise. You'd be treading on ground of, stepping on people's hands and stuff. That's what I'm thinking. John Wick 4, guys. Totally justified in winning at the box office, for sure. For sure. Okay, for some reason, my crop is not working on my chat feature. It should be, because I put it out after, and I said cropping right at the top. I'm going to have to adjust this, guys, because I don't know why this is not working. This is just frustrating. I do it the exact same way all the time, and it works every other single time, but for some reason, this doesn't want to work. So we'll go like this. We'll pop up the chat again. And we'll get these things all sorted out before we go into the weekend's box office. It's just YouTube being twits. The modules out there sometimes are, I don't understand. OBS is always trying to catch up with what YouTube shifts around and stuff like that. There we go. Bifer says audio video is good. Shazam is not good. Too silly for me. Bifer also says John Wick 5 with 60 plus 5-year-old Keanu would be a disaster. Yeah, well, it is what it is. It'll be fine. I kind of like don't want them to make another one, but like as I said, with the box office going up like that, how could you not, right? How could you not? Because the executives would be like, money talks. And that's the kind of situation that we're going to find ourselves in for sure. So, yeah, when you make that kind of money, the other thing too is that if you ever watch like the training videos of like Keanu doing like all the stunts and stuff like that, like training, if you actually see some of this stuff, he puts his heart and soul into this stuff, right? And he puts in a lot of the work behind the scenes. So it's kind of like, that's taxing on the body too, right? Doing all this stuff. And it's really cool stuff to see, for sure. Seeing that stuff. Yeah, and that just goes back to the point that, yeah, they should have a stunt Oscar in there for sure. Because I think that John Wick would be up there for having one. And yeah. Chris Ober says, I just looked up on Google, the director for John Wick Chapter 5 said that rejects studio offer chance. He says, I don't know how to do it. Well, that's the thing too. Like the same director did all of these John Wick movies. He did. So Bifer says John Wick spinoff, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry, those guys are my favorite. Oh, from Bullet Train, Bifer says, yeah, that would be interesting. But we know that we're getting the ballerina spinoff, and that's going to happen in between 3 and 4. So we're going to see John Wick again. And that's the way that you keep on having John Wick around, is having these spinoffs about the Continental. We know that there's going to be like a prequel series to the John Wick Continental, like a TV series, but it's going to be more about this guy here, Ian McShane's character, about how he became like the manager there at the Continental. So it's gonna be like a set way before John Wick events. That's what's going to happen with this prequel. The cool thing about the Continental is that it's an alternate timeline. It's in the 70s, so it's the birth of the Continental. That we love in the movies, that people get a glimpse of in the rooms of the Continental Hotel and stuff like that. So it's more about how he came to power and stuff like that for the manager and stuff like that. So we're not going to see John Wick in that Continental spin-off series. But, John Wick Chapter 4 really resonated with the people at the box office. And 95% by the critics, 95% by the audience. So the audience likes it as well. When you got something that just resonates with the fans like that, and has that kind of a box office return, everything points towards sequel, right? Everything points to, you got to make another one. The thing is that they just nicely tied everything up there with John Wick Chapter 4, with John Wick's character. It was beautiful, it was poetic, and it makes you go, that is an awesome movie. And if you make a 5th one, it almost will undermine that. It'll take away from it. And it's just like, there are other ways to do it. As I said, with the ballerina spinoff, there's other ways that we can still continue on, see a little bit more of John Wick. I don't know. I'm sure that we're, let's face it, we are going to get a John Wick 5. that's what's going to happen. I don't know how good it's going to be, or what the story can be, or if the director, Chris Schober, says there is if he's going to be on board with it or not. All right, let's get into the second story here. The weekend's box office report, because it is Monday. The weekend's box office report for March 24th to the 26th, week 12 already. Wow. Number 1 was John Wick Chapter 4. Number 2 was Creed 3. What? That came back? Creed 3 is number 2. Shazam! Fury of the Gods dropped down to the 3rd spot. That's not good. Scream 6 was number 4, and 65 was number 5. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania dropped out of the top 5 with 2.4. So, John Wick Chapter 4, 73.5. Let's take a look at that, because the international numbers included in that, 64 for international, 137.5 worldwide. And there's no way that, the executives look at that and say, well, we got to make number 5 now. We got to make number 5. I don't know if they need to, guys. I really don't. And I know that sucks. I'm a big fan of the John Wick franchise. I just don't know if they need to make a number 5, because then it's kind of like, what's left to tell? He's got his freedom, right? Everything seems to be resolved, and you just be kind of like retreading some of the same stuff, and it's kind of like, that's not good. So the second week for Shazam! Fury of the Gods had a huge drop off there. What was the percentage drop off that you're giving me there? 67.8%. So that's not good. 46.3 domestically and 56.1 internationally for 102. Now I think the budget for this was 125 for some reason, I'm thinking. Yeah, but still, not good. Not good. So, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Bifer said in the live chat there that he didn't have fun with Shazam. I didn't mind it. It wasn't a terrible movie. It just didn't move the needle, right? It didn't advance Shazam's character. It was just another movie with him in it. It was kind of like, okay. How did Billy Batson and Shazam evolve from the first movie in the second movie? What big revelation did we get about his character that made us go and say, we want to see more of that? How does this wrap up in a third movie? Or what's going to happen next? And that's not what Shazam! Fury of the Gods ever... I don't even know if it wanted to aspire to do that, which it should have been doing, as, somebody who writes stories myself. I don't know why it didn't, but Shazam! Fury of the Gods, it's going to be, a casualty there in the DC universe. And hopefully the same fate doesn't fall in line for Aquaman 2 and Flash. Flash has Batman going for it. But Shazam, this is the final movie that we're going to get with Zachary Levi, which kind of sucks, because I actually enjoyed him in that role. So let's take a look at some of the other notables. Ant-Man and the Wasp dropped off there, 2.4. And it's pretty much done its run there at the box office, guys. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's done like 95% of its run here. And again, here's the thing. Not everything has to be a trilogy, right? Not everything has to be, not all these superhero films, like these spin-off things that lead up to Avengers movies, has to have a trilogy. That's the mentality of everybody that was kind of put in our brains because of the MCU. That, hey, you got to have Captain Marvel 2. You got to have Shazam 2. I know that's DC and MCU, but I'm just using that as an example. It's built in our brains. Everything's got to be a trilogy. And even the big staples, like Thor, Love and Thunder didn't really land with the audiences. Thor's a big character, and the fourth movie of that didn't work out. So you think a lesser movie like Ant-Man? No, we're not going to get an Ant-Man 4. But yeah, it's done its run, guys. And again, I didn't hate Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I saw it. I didn't really think that much of it. I don't think that I'll ever want to watch it again. I didn't say that it was a terrible movie. It had some interesting ideas in there. 466.8 worldwide, and then it's pretty much done. It's not even. If it crosses the $500 million mark, it'll be lucky, but it's done. It's done. It's tapped out now at the box office. And yeah, as I said, the MCU. And what I just said about Shazam. Okay, what did we learn about Scott Lang in this character in this movie that pushed, like, developed his character, right? What did we learn in this that like evolved him? And it wasn't really that. It wasn't really anything, right? It was just there, and it sucks. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lose sleep over Ant-Man losing there. So what else opened up this weekend? Well, in limited release, A Good Person opened up. That's that Florence Pugh movie with uh, oh god, what's this? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Um, Morgan Freeman. There you go. Morgan. Well, God, that's a small poster. Yeah, Florence Pugh, Morgan Freeman. Now this opens up wider on March 31st, right there. Wide release March 31st. So I may go see this next Friday. And that'll be like, so this coming Friday, I'm going to be watching Murder Mystery 2 with you guys here on Netflix. And hopefully I'll be watching A Good Person there in the theaters. Because I don't need to go see Dungeons and Dragons this weekend because I just saw it this last Sunday, which we'll review here towards the end of the show. Anything else that jumped out at here? I wanted to see what that anime movie did here, but I'm not seeing it here on the list. Come on, it had a big box office in China, and I'm not seeing it here on the list, which sucks. This is the one thing that sucks about Box Office Mojo, is that it doesn't seem to include a lot of the international numbers. I guess this is because this is domestic, right? That's what I got. Let's go to the international. Maybe I'm crying foul here for no reason. Yeah, no. Well, I did pull this other article that is relevant to the box office, so we'll take a look at it here. China box office, Makoto Shinkai's anime hit Suzumi soars to $50 million opening in China. This is the thing that I think James Cameron understands. He's good at including, like, Avatar does somehow tap into the anime fan base. It does, because it's got fantastical stuff and imagery in it, like you see in some of the anime. Cameron knows this, and that's why his movies do resonate overseas and stuff like this. And if any other, like, MCU movies are kind of like, well, we want to appeal to the Chinese box office, so we'll put in representation, people that look like them, and that'll be enough. No, that's not enough. It's about the story style. Anime has a certain style, and I think John Wick does that as well, with the fighting sequences and stuff like that, the way that it's shot. So, yeah. Anime, you got to really, I got to start studying it a little bit more, looking at it, and because there's a fan base there that if you can tap into that fan base, it does pay off. And that's what you need to do if you want to try to branch out to that wider audience and get more box office return, right? It's not just including social justice messages or anything like that. It's about being aware of what the wider markets are interested in, right? So, yeah. Suzumi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So it's currently projected to finish around 90 million according to projections. Yeah, that's what you need to do. People come out in droves to see this, to see stuff like this. So that's what we have to take a look at. Pfeiffer to Hobbit there says, Makoto Shinkai is my favorite. Your name and Weathering You is some of your favorites. Okay, cool. Chris Schober says, I heard there's a rumored Chucky TV series season 3 coming out this year. Don't know anything about that. I'm probably not going to see John Wick Chapter 5. I don't think they really need to do. Yeah, that's a good point there, Chris Schober. Yeah, you don't even, do they really need to? And if they do, it's being forced down your throat. It's almost like a Matrix 4 situation where it's kind of like, even the director, Chad Stileski, says kind of like, do we really need to? Like, why? That's why, right? And it's kind of like they got to figure out a way to if they can find a way to deal with it delicately enough that maybe John Wick is not the main character anymore, like maybe the Donnie Yen character takes over. I think a lot of people may get on board with that if we can somehow get flashbacks with John Wick. That's a possibility. As I said, there's ways for them to work around it. Okay. During my research this morning, I was looking at all the John Wick stuff because that's the talk of the town this weekend. And the director Chad Stahelski was the guy that was supposed to be on board with the Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill. And I was like, shouldn't that movie be coming out? Where is Highlander? Well, Henry Cavill Highlander reboot could work better as a TV series, said Chad Stahelski. Guys, I thought this was supposed to be filming already. I thought, shouldn't this already be all in the can? And apparently it's not. Apparently they haven't even started production on it. So I've gone over to Chad Stahelski's IMDb, and when I look at his directing credits, pre-production. He's got a lot of stuff in development and a lot in pre-production here. Look at his directing stuff. TV series, miniseries. So he's got a lot on his plate, and none of it seems to be pulled the trigger on. That sucks. Yeah, as you can see, he's directed all the John Wick movies. Chad Stahelski. Where the heck is Highlander? Because it was years ago when this was announced. Highlander reboot starts filming next year, and this story came out November 12th, 2021. Yeah. So Highlander reboot starts filming next year with Henry Cavill, assumingly playing Connor McLeod. I was shocked. I was like, I thought this was already going. I thought I had heard that, yeah, we just saw that report that it was going to start in shooting in 2022. So it's kind of like, where the heck is Highlander? It almost seems like this Warhammer movie with Henry Cavill is going to come out before Highlander. Why is this so hard to get off the ground? If you got the script, what the heck is going on? So he says, I've worked on Highlander for years now for Henry Cavill, but being retroactive is hard. That's the difference between Wick and that. With Wick, you weren't serving 7 seasons of a TV plus 2 spin-offs plus 5 films. 5 films. Oh yeah, because Ballerina is the 5th film, right? If I were to do a remake of Highlander right now, you'd expect a lot of mythology in those first 2 hours. You couldn't explore stuff without it. Now Highlander as a TV show would be amazing. So, I'm getting the impression of this, that you've been working on it for years, and right now you think that you may want to change course from it being a movie to a TV series? It almost sounds like the story that you may have lined up is not locked in. Why isn't it? It should not take years for a script to come together. Years. It should not. I'm looking at you, Chad Stahelski. I'm looking at you, Matt Reeves, for the Batman 2 and Batman 3. It should not take years for these things to come together. A script, a story. It should not. Absolutely not. There's no excuse for it. Shame on you. And I know that's from just a guy that talks about movies. How dare he be waving his finger at us? We're trying to make things for the fans here. But the thing is that if you've been working on it for years, what the heck has been going on? The Highlander reboot is closer to happening than it's ever been. Okay, well, as I said, 2 years ago in 2021, we got the report that it was going to be shooting this year. Now, obviously, that got delayed because he was working on John Wick Chapter 4. That's the only thing that I could see, right? But I mean, seriously, guys, get your act together, man. Get your act together. I don't know why other studios aren't coming in here with writing teams and just smashing these things out. It's not hard. It's not hard. Chris Schober says, I just watched a trailer on YouTube called Florida Man. Okay. I just watched the Highlander classic movie last night. Yeah. And I was excited. I wanted to see Henry Cavill as Connor McLeod. I think that's going to be cool. That would be cool. Why not? It's ripe. And as Chad Stileski said there, that it's got a lot of mythology that you can pull from. It doesn't have to conclude the same way that the first movie is. Don't like the him winning the prize doesn't have to be at the end of the first movie. Him winning the prize could be at the end of the third movie. You just got to shrink down that storyline. Yeah, just deal with the concept that he's immortal for the first movie. How about that? That's the man who couldn't die. That's a fascinating subject that you can just write an entire movie around. Quick 90-minute movie about a man who cannot die. What kind of situations does he get in where that has effects on his character? Like, explore that. And yeah, along the way, he'll fight other people and cut off their heads. That's signature of the Highlander. I mean, yeah, that's what I think should happen. Anyway, I was just like, yeah, where's Highlander? All right. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 runtime. I complained about this on Friday, right? Saying that it was like going to be 2.5 hours. But James Gunn has weighed in, breaks the silence on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 runtime. The director says, not a minute is wasted. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So, yeah, 2 hours and 29 minutes is the runtime for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He says in a tweet, it's around that long, although that's not yet exact, and I promise, not a second is wasted. There's no fat. It was necessary to experience the full arc of every major character, not only for this film, but for the trilogy. Or should I say trilogy plus? Well, because they appear in other stuff. So, yeah, look at James Gunn there. Look what his use of words are. For the arc of every major character. And that's what I was saying about Shazam and Ant-Man. The arc of a character. We didn't get arcs in those movies. And it does seem like James Gunn wants to deliver the end arc of characters for this version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So I kind of got like no problem with that. And when we know that this is going to be the last outing from this group of Guardians that we're going to see. So I hope they knock it out of the park. And if it's 2.5 hours, and if there's no scene wasted where you're kind of like, well, they could have cut that out, or they could have shortened that kind of, like, for you to come out and you're not feeling that, then fine. Like, fine. I'm excited for this. Guardians of the Galaxy. So, long runtime. James Gunn addresses it. I hope it delivers, and and that's the right way to do it. They know that this is going to be the last one. It doesn't need a Guardians of the Galaxy 4. It doesn't need all of that. And then if it does have a Guardians of the Galaxy 4, it's going to be with a whole new team. It's going to be revamped, right? They don't overstay their welcome, and that's what's happening, I think, with a lot of the superhero movies, is that they're overstaying their welcome. So as much as some people say that there's comic book fatigue isn't happening, it totally is, and the signs, it's on the wall now. You can't deny it. But it's smart to have things have like its own box. This is how much we were going to make, regardless of money and trajectory and stuff like that. So that's good. All right, guys, there are my other social media handles that you can follow. Let's get into some somber news here, some bummer news. This was shocking. Talking about the MCU here, implications. Jonathan Majors' lawyer says evidence exists to prove that he is completely innocent of alleged assault. Over the weekend, Jonathan Majors was arrested in a domestic violence incident. Jonathan Majors was just in Creed 3, which I really liked him in. I liked him in Devotion last year, that flying movie. He was also just in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as Kang. He's the big bad guy that's going to lead to the Kang dynasty. So, this is a subject where, because we don't know all the facts of the case, it just happened. Some people want to react with, oh, he's completely innocent without hearing anything, or, they're going to have to fire him and bring in a new king, and they want to run with storylines like that. That's clickbaity kind of stuff, which is expected. Fine. Um, he's a good actor. Um, the lawyers say that there's evidence proving that he's completely innocent of this charge. Like there's video evidence, provably that he's provably the victim. So it's just happened over the weekend, guys. My take on this is that, whoa, let's just take a breath here, see where all this evidence lands before we decide to cancel, right? Because we have to let it play out. I'm not going to come to his defense right now and say, well, there's no possible way that he could ever do this, because I just don't have the facts. And I'm not going to come out and try to defend him and then look like a fool later on if it comes out like, oh no, that it was true, he did it. Right now, I just say, let's have a reserved reaction to this. Because if the lawyer's saying that they've got evidence that he's completely innocent, then, right now, as a fan of Jonathan Majors' acting career, I would say I want to see that evidence. I want it to all come out. And they're saying that they're going to be able to completely absolve him of these allegations and charges. So that's pretty much where I weigh in with it. I know that there has begun some fallout of this. He was supposed to be in a commercial for the U.S. Army. Come join us, the proud and bold, kind of stuff or whatever. And they pulled those commercials right now with him in it. So yeah. Right now it's just PR stuff. That's understandable. I understand that if you got like a campaign coming out right now with Jonathan Majors splashed all over it, you would want to pull that back until, just like me, as I said, you want to see where this goes. You want to see where all the evidence comes out before you render complete judgment on it. And if he comes out like he's been absolved, then it's your choice if you want to continue with that ad campaign or not. The MCU, I think they're happy that they got some breathing room here with him. Like Kang Dynasty doesn't come out for a while now, for years now. So he was supposed to have a cameo in Loki season 2. That's supposed to come out this year, right? So I'm sure that, and I think that's already shot and all in the can. So hypothetically, if these charges do stick and MCU wants to reverse course on him, it's Kang. He has multiple looks. Like he can change the way that he looks depending on which universe he appears in. It's an easy fix. You just recast him. You reshoot the scenes that you had for Loki season 2. You have a scene where he comes in and is like, Kang, is that you? And just like in Iron Man 2, it's kind of like what Don Cheadle did. It's kind of like, yeah, it's me, get over it, kind of thing. And then you just move on. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, I'm just going to look at it as with a measured, hopefully measured, response. Over the weekend, too, this was a cool story. Joker 2 Harley Quinn images emerged. What does Lady Gaga look as Harley Quinn? Well, there we go, guys. Lady Gaga debuts Harley Quinn look in Joker sequel set photos, and there's a video out there, too. So it's not really like her skin isn't white or anything like that, but that's fine. I think this looks fantastic, actually, to tell you the truth. Very reserved, but you can tell that she's got like the iconic colors on and stuff, the red and the white, black. I think she's going to knock this out of the park. I think she's going to, like this version of Harley Quinn. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So it's just a scene of her walking out of the courthouse or something like that. And the video of it, there is video out there, guys. I'm not going to play the video here. It's just her walking down the steps and getting escorted by people or something like that. So we know that she falls in love with the Joker in the storylines. I'm guessing that she's trying to represent a reason for him to get out of prison or something like that there. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing. Very, just like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker makeup. Um, there's no scars or anything like that. The skin isn't bleached white or anything. I like what I'm seeing. I think it looks great. I think, yeah, as I said, I think she's going to knock it out of the park for sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So there was some other stuff here. Um, Joker 2 set images tease the tragic journey of Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. It looks like there's a newspaper out here that comes out. Um, Joker has a new love, crazy in love. So yeah, here it says Harleen Frances Quenzel, Arkham State. So she gets committed, I guess. She falls in love with him while treating him, and then gets committed herself. I'm guessing they plan that. She gets committed so they can help break each other out. But we see her full name there, Harleen Quinzel. Um, cool, man. Cool images. And as I said, if you want to go check out some of those set photos, there's more of them, just at different angles. Uh, I think it looks great. It's not the over the top kind of Harley Quinn that we've seen from Margot Robbie, but we understand that this is going to be a different take on it, right? Um, cool, cool, man. Joker 2 is next year, guys, and I'm going to be like really looking forward to that. Okay, Jeremy Renner. Yeah, Jeremy Renner posted an update about his health recently, and yeah, we like Jeremy Renner here on this channel. So he shares a video walking on anti-gravity treadmill after snowplow accident. Time for my body to rest and recover. This was on his Instagram. Yeah, we know that he got trampled by trampled is putting it lightly. He got fully run over, guys, by a 3,000-pound snowplow. So I had to look it up. I had to look up this video on his Instagram stories. Yeah, guys. View his James. Yeah, so there he is. Anti-grav. I don't know what the heck is that. Is that for like rehabbing and stuff? Anti-grav. Yeah, so he's at least he's up now. He's walking. He's gonna get use of his legs back. So that's good. Kudos. Thumbs up, Jeremy Renner. He's on the mend, 100%. Okay, Chris Schober, you're asking about the Power Rangers. We're going to talk about that right now. Power Rangers reunion movie is happening, or is going to be coming out on Netflix. And did you guys know about this? I had, like, I guess I wasn't paying attention or something, but there's controversy around it too. Amy Jo Johnson slams claims she's not in Power Rangers anniversary special for financial reasons. It's simply not true. Yeah, I guess she's not returning as the Pink Ranger, which I guess a lot of the fans out there are kind of bummed out about. They're kind of like, well, we liked her in the original series, and I had no idea that this was coming out. I really did. It's coming out soon too, like April 19th, guys. So, a Mighty Morphin reunion. It's all the original actors, well, except for her, the Pink Ranger, obviously, coming back for a Power Rangers movie. Cool. Hey, you know what? If you got the cast and they still want to do something, they still want to work with this property, why not? Now, the costumes look the same. Nothing seems upgraded in there. But, what is that? Rita Repulsa or whatever her name is. Yeah, there she is right there. So this is going to be on Netflix, guys. A reunion thing. And I guess because they were doing this reunion, they're like, well, isn't everybody coming back? Where's the Pink Ranger? I had no idea that this thing was happening. But huge fans who grew up with this are excited for this. I don't know if we're going to be doing a reaction to it once and always. Yeah, for Trini, Tommy, and Rita, forever in our hearts. I don't care how old I am. I always tear up to see the original Power Rangers. So yeah, it's like the original, right? So I had no idea about this, but yeah, the original actress who played Amy Jo Johnson slams that she's not in it for financial reasons. Um, so yeah, I guess people were out accusing her, saying that she wasn't going to be paid enough or something like that, right? So she wanted to set the record straight, saying, "Please stop saying I didn't do the reunion because of money. Simply not true. Maybe I just didn't want to wear spandex in my 50s, or couldn't go to NZ for a month, or none of your beeswax." Okay, JDF and I both chose not to do our own for our own reasons. They filmed before he passed. Yeah, maybe that too. She's upset that she didn't want to relive those memories or something. Excited to see my pal. So she at least she's championing the project. Um, but yeah, a little bit of controversy there. So, like, oh, well, not controversy, but you know, a little bit of talking points at least around this Power Rangers thing. I never grew up with the Power Rangers. That was after my time, guys. So, you know, I grew up with Transformers and G.I. Joe. So, you know, hey, if this was your bag, I had fun with the reboot, but hey, if this is something that you like, then I'm sure that this is going to be very exciting for you, right? April 19th, it said. Is that what it said? Visual effects wise, you know what you're getting for the Power Rangers, right? Yeah. When is that coming out? April 19th. There you go. Yeah, April 19th. Well, guys, did you see it? Let me know in the comments. Power Rangers reunion. All right, let's get into some hit or miss here for like, well, 6 minutes or so, or maybe even less. And then we'll get into my review for Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Okay, so this is just where if it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. Rings of Power. I was a big fan of the Rings of Power. Not many people were, though. PETA is not a fan of Rings of Power. PETA condemns horse death on Lord of the Rings of Power, exploiting animals for their art. Guys, there was a beautiful sequence in that of Galadriel riding a horse along the beach. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. But apparently, I didn't know this. During a training exercise for the series there, we are deeply saddened to confirm that a production horse died on the 21st of March. The incident took place in the morning whilst the horse was being exercised prior to rehearsals. The trainer was not in costume and filming had yet to commence. Both a veterinarian and a representative of the Humane Association were present at the time. The independent necropsy was performed and the horse died of cardiac failure. That sucks. But I hear that's common though, right? Horses, they die. That's how they die. Because they run a lot, right? And they're big animals with big hearts. But I guess I am talking about this, so it sucks. It sucks because there's just another angle that PETA will use to say, well, you shouldn't be using live animals in productions. The thing is that with you, if you got a proper trainer and stuff, why not? You show the beauty and the majesty of these animals. Like, I was hard on it when we watched it. That it was slow motion, a little too much slow motion of her riding the horse, but it was beautiful. I'll tell you that. That's a hard subject to land down on. It's like, should they stop using horses? What would they use? CGI horses? No. I think it's just, it happens. Yeah. Talking about CGI animals, let's talk about some apes. Andy Serkis calls Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes story mind-blowing. Yeah, we know that we're getting a fourth Planet of the Apes movie. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I guess Andy Serkis, I don't think, he's not working on it. He's not going to be in it, guys, because Caesar's story is done. So, and from what I understand, the fourth movie is going to take place like a generation or two after the events of the third movie. Following rapid spread, yeah, premiering May 24th, 2024, so next year, guys. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will explore the next phase in the franchise's story. So, I guess Serkis said in a recent interview with Cinema Blend, it's going to blow people's minds. Let's see what he says. I think Wes Ball is going to do an amazing job with this film. I think it's, from what I've heard and what I've seen, there's some amazing conceptual artwork, and where they've chosen to land the story and take off with the next iteration, I think it's going to blow people's minds. So yeah, it's like after the plague that wiped out the humans the second time, with, like, you know, making their brains de-evolve. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I liked War of the Planet of the Apes. I did. I thought it was a good conclusion. But yeah, there's more there to mine for sure. Like, will it lead up to the events of, like, the classic Apes movie, where a human does come back like 1,000 years later, and they're like, we don't know what this thing looks like, or we don't know what this thing is. Like, humans are supposed to be like the savages now, kind of thing, right? Where they completely turn the tables on it, because they laid the groundwork for that with the humans' brains de-evolving. They laid the groundwork for that for sure. So when a human comes to them and starts talking, the apes will be like, well, that's weird. That's what the heck's going on here, kind of thing, right? So there's definitely a way to pave the road for that. I'll keep my eye out for that. Andy Serkis says that from what he's seen, he likes it. So, yeah. What's next? Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown to publish a new book, 19 Steps. She's going to publish her own book, guys. Stranger Things alum Millie Bobby Brown is now an author, with her first book coming out later this year. Guys, what a head she has on her shoulders, right? I just look at her career, starting with Stranger Things, obviously, and it's just gone up, right? She produces the Enola Holmes series that's on Netflix right now. So she's very involved with crafting stories and stuff. And I'm going to make the bold prediction now. She's going to eventually direct her own movie, just like Taylor Swift. Remember, I said Taylor's going to one day direct her own movie, and she did. And I think Millie Bobby Brown, she knows the business. She's getting experience. She knows storytelling. This tells me that she's studying storytelling, crafting a story. That's what you need to do as a storyteller, as a director. Got to understand story concepts. And this is just cool in my book. I think she's going to eventually become a director, and that's awesome. So what's this book about? Well, do we get a synopsis here in this story? First novel, 19 Steps. Now, I don't know if I'll ever read the novel. I'm sure I'm not the target demographic. 19 Steps, a historical fiction based on her own family's history. So the story revolves largely around a young woman named Nellie, who represents Brown's grandmother, Ruth. A riveting story about the love and loss during World War II. Nellie lives with her family in Bethnal Green, through some of the war's darkest moments. Wow, so it sounds like she even researched from her family's history to put this story together. Again, God, that's smart. That's just, what a smart girl. She meets a young American airman named Ray, stationed nearby at the Bethnal Green station. One day, however, the station is decimated in an air raid that kills hundreds of people, children among them. So maybe it is a demographic that I can read this book. Yeah. I grew up listening to stories about her time living through the war. I'm honored to keep her story alive. Cool. God, she's like 19 now, right? She just had her 19th birthday. So smart. That's inspiring. As a youth out there, how could you not find that inspiring? Yeah, I should do a short about that one. Oh, all right. falling apart here. I'm still not 100%, as you can tell. I thought I was this morning, but I guess my voice still hasn't been used to talking. All right. I think that's it for hit or miss, right? We got everything. There's nothing else out there for hit or miss. Schedule, push the color palette, Ghost of Chad Stileski. Everybody's running with his names and storylines right now. Keanu Reeves open to reprising Jack Travern in Speed sequel. A Speed sequel. Huh. As long as he gets Sandra Bullock back. Yeah, do a movie with them, like What Happened to You Guys years later kind of thing. Yeah. All right, let me get set up here for my D&D review. All right. Okay. Guys, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Hopefully I can get through this. I always get it worse in the head. When you get colds, some people, they get both. Some people get it in the chest really bad. I don't seem to get it in the chest. I always get it in the head, and it just lingers. That's where it's the longest. It sucks. It sucks. Plus, I guess I haven't really been using my voice for the week because I've been trying to conserve it, so I kind of lost. The voice is something that you got to keep up on. My apologies. I need to be able to talk. Let me just clear the air. All right, there we go. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves opens up this weekend, guys, and you're going to go out and see it. I saw it, and I got to tell you, I liked it. I like this movie. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, not amongst thieves, among thieves. The synopsis reads, a charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic quest to retrieve a lost relic, but things go dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people. Now, this movie had Chris Pine in it, Regé-Jean Page, Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith, and Sophia Lillis, with Hugh Grant and Daisy Head. Daisy Head was the villain. She was that red mage there that you see, and she was awesome. Great villain in this. This was just a fun ride at the movies, guys. I said this in my initial reaction. If you liked the Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser, it's got that same kind of fun feel to it. The action-adventure feel to it. You don't need to have played the game Dungeons & Dragons to know what's going on in this movie. There were a lot of references in it, though, that I was made aware of over the social medias that said, oh, people recognize this part of it from the game. I never played the game. I played maybe once or twice in my life, but I'm not a hardcore fan of like that role-playing dice game. So I understood absolutely everything that was going on in this movie, and I didn't know anything about the game in this. So, it was just a fun time at the movies. You're going to be, if you get to see it with a bunch of people, see it with a bunch of people if you can, because you'll all be laughing at the same time. You'll be like, and you think that they played the best jokes in the trailers. No, there's some other ones that really pay off. It pays off in a good way, and I had lots of fun with this. The visual effects, it worked for it. And there was a bit of a backbone there with some character development. Hugh Grant there plays the bad guy. Sort of. Well, yeah, he's one of the bad guys. But Chris Pine is our main character, and he does a good job in this. He does a really good job. And he's a bard, right? So he's a singer. He's got quite the singing voice. And there's the Daisy head. I like this costume. This costume worked for me a lot. Better than the red one, actually. She's kind of like the evil magician or whatever. Really effective. Made me want to look it up. But as I said, these four have got great chemistry. And it shows when they're all working together to solve the situations that they find themselves in. And it's just fun. It's 2 hours. It's got one mid-credit scene that's fun. But yeah, I would say I would want to see more from this. I really do. So I saw it at a fan event on Sunday, a sneak peek they called it, and man, it was packed in the theater. So let's see what people are saying about this. 90% by the critics, 94% by the audience, and I wouldn't say that it's a 9 out of 10 because it's not like epic quality, but it's fun. Let's see what some of the snapshot reviews are and see if we agree with them. Chicago Reactor says, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves may be a dice roll in a few ways, but critical hits save it from being skippable. Skippable. So they're just trying to be fun there. A game changer. This fantasy comedy combo is an unrecognized surprise that's rolling out critical hits. See, again, everybody's trying to use quips of like rolling dice and stuff like that, but I want to see a bad review in here. So just for some contrast, it's not 100%. There we go. Here's a few ones. Its zeal to capture the wild rhythms of such a mythically dense universe. It's frustrating to see Honor Among Thieves fail to coalesce into a more cohesive story by the time the 134-minute runtime ends. What? Guys, it was a simple story. It's kind of like, we got to go back and save this person kind of story. What? That wasn't that hard to follow. I'm sure fans will love this dense appreciation of lore, but others may find it regardlessly exhaustive and far long for a movie that ultimately feels rather slight. So some people ragging on the runtime. Yeah, maybe I could say that because it is 2 hours, it's a little bit long. But I said, it's just fun. Chris Pine has that charm with him. And Michelle Rodriguez, oddly enough, in this too. She's like the barbarian. She's got some good scenes. And it has a fun cameo in this. There's a fun cameo that shows up in this. That'll just be like, what? I didn't know that this person was going to be in this movie. And that's the kind of payoffs that you'll get watching Dungeons and Dragons. The chemistry between these four. Yeah, it definitely pays off. Does it get a little bit cheesy and hokey at times? Yeah. But yeah, Michelle Rodriguez, I think she did a great job in this. Hugh Grant, for the angle that he was playing, did it very well. Regé-Jean Page, yeah, he showed up. He was there. Whatever. I know he's a draw there for some people, but yeah, the evil, like this Daisy Header. I like this. This is like very Sith-like, right? Good villain. Really good villain. I dug her a lot. Sophia Lillis, we've seen from the It movies, plays the druid, shapeshifter. Cool. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get enamored a little too easily looking at that. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. Thumbs up in my book, guys. Have you seen the trailers? If you like the tone of the trailers, it pays off in spades in the movie. I would give Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe an 8. No. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Why not? 7.5 out of 10. I got to be honest here, right? 7.5. It's a good movie. You're going to have a fun time at the movies this weekend with Dungeons and Dragons. That's what you need to know. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we'll talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Man, my voice. I hate this. I hate this so much. It's like, as I said, I get it worse in the head. I can't use the full faculty of my voice. Otherwise, it'll sound weird. And the pressure, you get like, yeah, it's terrible. But, yeah, high energy, pump it loud. I wish I could have. I wish I could. I just don't have the full faculty. And it's gross, man. It's gross. It's got to end soon, please. I want to wake up tomorrow and I want to be back to 100%. I do. I take all my vitamins and everything. Okay, guys. I think that's pretty much the show for today. I'm going to publish a lot of shorts later on this afternoon about some of these storylines and stuff. So, I guess we can go over to the Twitterverse and see what's going on over there. I'm not going to do a spoiler talk for the D&D movie. There's not really much to spoil. As I said, it's bad. Somebody gets kidnapped. It's about them coming together to save them, right? Florida Man with Edgar Ramirez. Oh yeah, Chris Schober was saying about this. Florida Man. This is that trailer with Edgar Ramirez. I don't know anything about this, but I'll watch that trailer during the break here, or during my Halle Bailey, our Little Mermaid, guys. I think she's gonna knock it out of the park. I think she's gonna, despite my criticisms about having another angle on there of her falling in love, I think that's gonna be fine. I really hope this movie lands and pays off. Warner Bros. Has acquired the rights to The Drowning, a heated bidding war. I don't know what The Drowning is. Among those circling the rights were Steven Spielberg. So it's a book about a plane. Okay. Yeah, see, it's about stories, right? You go to books for stories, to farm stories. Why not? Madeline Klein photographed. Madeline Klein was in Knives Out too, right? Glass Onion. Some good black and white photos there. I like that. Anya Taylor-Joy for the Super Mario Bros. Press Tour. Princess Peach. She's playing Princess Peach, right? Wow. Yeah, you can put anything on her and it'll look fantastic. Chris Pine says he did not do any stunt work. He didn't. What? All I do is run. I run away from stuff, he says. Okay. Yeah, he's really good in the movie, man. He really is good. Poster for Shankar Shwanamagan, Game Changer, starring Ram Charan. Yeah, I don't know why the Indian press always puts all these happy birthday things for the actors. They do. They do it for like Prabhas. They do like happy birthday things, and it's like, why do they do that? Like, we don't put out stuff like for Tom Hanks. Happy birthday, Tom Hanks. Here's your Mission Impossible poster. Yeah, whatever. It's a cultural thing, I suppose. What's your favorite quote from? I don't watch Succession. I don't. Yeah, I know that's a big headline for Succession, but I don't watch it. Ballerina spinoff will be released either spring or summer 2024. Norman Reedus is going to be in that. More Lady Gaga. Okay, so she doesn't have the eye makeup on there, but she's got the pantyhose on or whatever. The leggings. This is a stand-in. I don't think that's supposed to be the Joker. That's just supposed to be like, I got the impression that the town is enamored with the Joker. They liked what the Joker was doing in the first movie, so they kind of like idolize him, right? And she gets caught up in idolizing the Joker, and that's why she starts to fall in love. Well, that's what happened in the comics too, right? Shazam! Fury of the Gods made $9.7 million on its second week, 69% drop. Yeah, we talked about that. Live concert of Adele. You guys like Adele? Okay, John Wick numbers. We talked about that. Succession. Pretty Little Liars. Ashley Benson, Troyan Belisario. Recently reunited. Okay, from Pretty Little Liars. Lucy Hale. I like Troy. Troyan or whatever her name is. Wicked. Ariana Grande. Oh yeah, this was a headline too. Ariana Grande and her are going to be in Wicked. 2 parts. One of Ariana Grande's first big movies. Oh, as a leading actress, right? Or an actress with a big part. I know that she was in Don't Look Up, but that was small, and she was playing a pop star. That's not a big reach. Scream 6 has made over 83 million domestically. Yeah, it has already surpassed the domestic total of last year's Scream. Alright. So there's more box office stuff. Nothing too major. Ooh, Daniel Radcliffe is expecting his first child with Aaron Dark. Kudos. Congratulations. So they're expecting. Daisy Ridley. That's cool. I dig that. I have to save that one. Cool, man. I haven't seen her in a while. Where is she? How to Train Your Dragon. Oh yeah, the poster for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's not that much. I don't look at that and say, oh guys, you got to look at that poster. Check that out. No. More Lady Gaga stuff. Yellow Jacket Season 2 premiered yesterday, right? Okay. All right, that's it for today, guys. As you can see, I'm still not 100%, but I'm going to hopefully be back in the next couple of days. I'm planning... tomorrow, I think we'll just do another movie news show for a Tuesday, because I haven't posted the weekly schedule yet. I just can't commit to a 2-hour movie if I'm going to be doing this all throughout it. I'm hoping by Wednesday I'll feel back to normal so we can do Attack of the Clones in the morning on Wednesday. That's what I want to do. And then Mandalorian on Wednesday afternoon. So if you loosely know our schedule here, it'll still follow that. But tomorrow will be more movie news. And Friday, as I said, we'll be watching Murder Mystery for sure. Murder Mystery 2. And hopefully I can get out and see that Florence Pugh movie. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Mirror Domains.